I know that out of 100 trades, I'll win 80 to 85 of them. So I never get too caught up on the losses. And as a leader, my job is to teach the stream that, to teach the audience that, and let them understand that, this whole, you have to kind of switch your, or redefine what losing means to you, right? And you're not a loser. It's just the probability didn't play out on that trade.
What to do, YouTube family? Thanks so much for joining us. Really, really excited for our next interviewee, who's Nick Stewart. It's a banger of a video. Nick runs us through his journey and how he's become a success in Forex. He has a bunch of nuggets for us to learn from, and I hope you guys enjoy it. I really appreciate you guys coming through, and let us know what you think of the video. If there are any other featured people that you'd like us to look at, please let us know. We're here to help you guys. All right. Thanks a million and much love.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Mandalay Bay, Las Vegas, let's get ready to rumble!
Yeah, good question. So check this out. So pretty much what happened was I was in network marketing, obviously, as you know, and super passionate about. I'm talking when I was in those meetings, there wasn't a thing that could distract me. I don't care if there was a party. I don't care if there was a car show. I'm pretty big in cars and bikes and all that stuff. I don't care, right? I was locked in because I knew my future self would thank me. And what happened was, as I was in those meetings, I started thinking about trading. And this never happened to me before, never. And that was a sign for me. And that's when I started praying about it, right? And asking for some sort of discernment and guidance. And, I couldn't get trading. I couldn't get it out of my mind, man. Could not get it out no matter what. And for me to think about that while actually in a meeting, and being a speaker at the meeting too, at that, I was thinking, whoa, there may be a shift going on here, So I started praying about it, and eventually a friend of mine that I really admire, his name is Matt. He was a part of the IM Academy, and remember, I want to go into some sort of familiar territory. So I liked trading, but I liked that they were part of a network marketing company. It was a little bit familiar for me and something that I'm used to. So after a lot of praying, a lot of emotional decision, because the men who I learned from, they really built me, right? I truly believe I was built on the assembly line of their mentorship.
I like the way you said that. I like that.
Yeah, really. I really was. They really put me together. And to leave that group was by far probably the hardest decision I ever had to make. A lot of crying, right? A lot of praying, like some serious stuff here. And God told me, hey, it's time. It's time. They've served the purpose in your life. I still talk with them today. They still mentor me today. Great guys. But it's time to move. And I said, perfect. So I moved into the unknown. I wasn't sure if trading was actually going to be the thing for me, or if it was going to be something else. And just started to dive into it. Looked online, looked around on YouTube, and found a few guys, got a few courses. I think my journey begins like everyone else, right? We try and look for a signal provider, and I was waking up at 4 a.m, got buy GJ now, and I was just, the signal was sent out at like 3:40, but I wasn't entering it until 4:40, and thinking that I got the same entry as everyone else. I had no idea how this stuff worked,
Yeah.
And once I figured out that didn't work, I kind of moved away from IM Academy. I think they're a great company in general. A lot of people like to bash them, but bro, they put me on. All they do is sell education, Forex education. So, they got my foot in the door. They helped me kind of understand what trading was all about. But then I realized, what, I want to learn this on my own. So I started looking for other teachers that I could find that were kind of teaching people how to independently trade. And that was right around COVID, right around when the pandemic went down and everything was getting shut down. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna take this time, and while the whole world shut down, and I'm gonna build my foundation for the knowledge here on the charts. And that's really how it all began. I am willing to put in work. I'm willing to be persistent. I'm willing. I think if my mom could rename me, my middle name would be Persistence, because that's one thing I understand about successful people is, when you dive into something, you're not going to understand these things right away. Whatever it is, trading is just what we're talking about. But if it's a new language, if it's a new instrument, right? If it's a new sport, anything that you dive into, you have to understand that there's a sowing and a reaping process, right? And you have to be persistent within that and kind of understand and get the expectations down right. So without a mentor, you don't see me here today. Without a mentor, I don't believe in myself as much as I do today. I don't have the confidence. I don't have the vision that I have today without a mentor. Talking extremely important. I think everyone needs a mentor. Dude, I 100% agree on that, because my mentor used to say, how you do anything is how you do everything.
Bro, that's
So
my quote, bro. That's in my ebook.
I love
that's
that.
like my favorite quote of life, bro.
Yeah, dude. And it's so true. And I always say it all the time. Like, if you we joke about it on the live stream. It's like, if you're that guy that, spills a little bit of milk on the counter and you don't wipe it up, you're not disciplined to your playbook. Or if you're the guy who throws your hoodie on the floor instead of just simply hanging it up real quick, you're not a disciplined trader. And I can tell very quickly, just by what someone says, what they do off the charts, what their results are looking like on the charts.
Spot on.
It's no surprise, bro. No surprise.
Bro,
Trading times are huge. I think more traders should probably put some importance on that, because the average trader just thinks they could open up a chart whenever, look at some price, and some strategies do call for that. But I did trade London before I had kids, obviously. And then I trade some pound pairs, and it was a different trading style. But once I started getting grounded in trading the New York session, I feel like that was the best move I made, right? To stick with one session. Well, most of my trades, about 85% of my trades, are taken on gold. So we've really dialed in on gold, and I don't want to say we've mastered the session, but we've gotten it damn near close, right? So I understand how the session moves. And I always tell people, if you're going to pick a session, pick one that's going to flow with your life, right? Like, I live on the East Coast in Florida here, just like you. And,
Yep.
I sleep during the London session for the most part. I got kids, and during the Asian session, I'll peek here and there. But, I like to come to the desk. I like to sit down and do a job. And then when that job's done, I like to get on with my day. And that usually, my trading session, it goes from about 6:30 a.m. Eastern, pre-New York, to about 10:30, right around like London close, somewhere in between that time. And it's my job to just look for positions during that time. If we find some, great, we take a win or a loss. If not, we call it a no trade day and we just come back tomorrow. So I think sessions are very important. I think it's good to find a session and a pair that's gonna agree with your lifestyle as well. And then we just hunt the volume down there. Yeah, I mean, if trading is something that one wants to dive into, I think they should prepare themselves for the journey. I think that IG and social media kind of give you false expectations. That's another reason why I wanted to start live streaming, so I could just show the realness of what it is on a day-to-day to trade and be a trader in your session. So what I would say is if you are looking to get into trading, figure out your why. Why do you want to do it? What that's the first thing. I want to get into trading. Why? Yeah. And don't tell me the Lambo. Don't tell me the watch, because that's not going to help you be disciplined on a daily basis. Yeah. Your why should get you emotional. Yeah. Your why, it should take some time to really think about that. I would say just take your time with it. Don't rush, right? Let these things come naturally. Success always comes best when it comes naturally, right? Understand that there is a sowing and a reaping process to anything you're going to do in life, right? And be willing to stay down until you come up, right? Take your time, learn a playbook. That's a big thing with trading. Make sure you understand how a playbook works and wait for the best quality setups you can find. Don't touch anything outside of it. If you lose a trade, don't worry. You can get it back the next day. The playbook, I just got to be disciplined to it. And I think that's the hidden gem right there for all traders, is that, guess what, gang? Every system works.
Facts.
They all work. Every strategy works. The only variable is you, right? Will you work? Will you stay consistent? And will you find out the little nuances and the little things, right? That most people don't look at. Are you willing to dive in and figure out how to tailor that system to your pair or to your lifestyle or to the way you trade? And it was just about being, doing what I knew I was supposed to be doing and doing it consistently. The way I look at trading is it's a profession, right? And you got to be a professional. If you want to see long-term results in real estate, if you want to see long-term success in sales, trading, no matter athletics, no matter what, you got to be professional. You got to take this serious, and you can't always focus on the money. Yeah. Right? When Tom Brady's taking practice drills, he's not focused on how much money he's making. He wants to be the best. He wants to be the GOAT at the quarterback position. And that's where the emotions go away, is when you stop focusing on the money and you start focusing on what we like to call a playbook. And what I've learned is most successful traders who have been doing this longer than maybe me and you have even been alive, they all have a playbook. Yeah. And they don't deviate from that playbook ever. And a lot of them only take one or two setups. Question. So my answer may be a little different, but I handle losses the same way I handle wins. Just another trade. Just another trade. Every trade, whether I win or lose, it's just on to the next one. I always like to say, if you don't celebrate your wins too much, you won't dwell on your losses too much. And I understand that trading is a probability game. I understand that there's loss as a part of this. And I just need to do my best at staying disciplined to my playbook, because my playbook does the winning and the losing, not me. Right. So I tell the stream this often. It's like, if you can just rely on the playbook, right? So if you take a loss, most people associate with, if they take a loss, they're a loser, right? And that's totally not the case, right? Most people, they've got these degrees, they've got these great careers, great families, and then they take a couple losses in the market and think like they're a loser, and you're not a loser, right? Your playbook lost that trade, not you. It was just the probability of the setup playing out. So same thing with the win, right? If you won, don't jump up and down, man. You didn't really do anything special. Like we expected price to go there, right? And it was just a playbook position. So one thing I like to keep in mind is the next 100 trades mentality. And what I mean by that is, today's trade doesn't really matter that much. What matters is the results over the next 100 trades. And I know that my system pretty accurately over the last 2.5 years has given me roughly about an 80 to like an 85% win rate. So I know that out of 100 trades, I'll win 80 to 85 of them. So I never get too caught up on the losses. And as a leader, my job is to teach the stream that, to teach the audience that, and let them understand that, this whole, you have to kind of switch or redefine what losing means to you, right? And you're not a loser. It's just the probability didn't play out on that trade. So that's all. We never celebrate our wins. We never dwell on our losses, because we understand very simply that the outcome of any given trade is random. Yeah. It's like rolling a die, right? Like if we were going to roll a die 100 times and all we were looking to was to avoid rolling a 2, right? We have an edge, meaning that there's more numbers on the die. Same thing with trading. We have an edge, but that doesn't mean that you're not going to roll a 2 19, 20, 22 times out of that 100. And guess what? Sometimes that 2 may pop up 2 or 3 times in a row. So you have to understand that every single outcome of every trade is random. It doesn't matter if it's got we have one setup that has a 92% win rate, but guess what? It's not 100. Yep. Right. So you just got to kind of, accept those rules, accept that trading is about probability. And if you can just move forward thinking in probabilities, it'll be a game changer for you in the future of your trading. Question. So once I started dedicating myself to the New York session, I started to, and only gold. Yes, I looked at pound yen, but mainly gold. 85% of my trades are taken on gold today. And I started watching it and I started learning about it, and I started figuring out the little nuances within it. What time volume comes in, what it likes to do when it's trending, right? A lot of time it likes to come down, create a nice support on the 30-minute time frame and move up and test that previous resistance during times of volume. So I started figuring these things out. Hey, I don't really need to be on the charts unless it's NY open, right? A15, you have the commodity exchange open, which brings volume into gold, and then it'll kind of settle down for the new 4 hour. And once the 4 hour opens up, you have the stock exchange that opens up at 9:30, and more volume dump into like 10:30. So we found this flow. Now it switches up quarter by quarter. That's one thing we've learned, but we found this flow that we were able to kind of, in a way, get in this flow state with gold, and really dialed in on the New York session and how it likes to move. And it connected perfectly with our strategy, because we trade with ranges. So we use pure price action and candlesticks, trading, breakouts of ranges, or, retest of support and resistances. And gold just moves flawlessly when it comes to retesting those, supports and resistances. So it works out really well.
As I said, a banger of a banger. Watch it a few times, guys. I've watched it about 5 times today, so just absorbing all the invaluable lessons that Nick has to share. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed. Stick around. We have a couple of other interviews, so enjoy. Cheers, thanks.